Okay, we waited 5 minutes, 6 minutes, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So this is the first of, I guess, many that'll come, just computer classes, so we'll go over just some general stuff, things that I think will help all of you guys just kind of get through your day easier. On a note, I've muted everybody's mics, so you should only be able to hear me. So if you have a question or need something, use the chat window in your GoToMeeting thing and let me know, and I'll unmute you. That way we don't get as much echo. I am recording this, so I'll share it on YouTube, so you can share it with whoever you want later. One quick little thing I wanted to go over real quick. If you've been to the website recently, you'll notice there's a red banner at the top. Seen these things on probably every website you've been to. It's a COVID-19 banner. If you click on it, it will take you to our kind of COVID-19 announcement page. It'll load. So here we'll post anything, if anything changes, like the Saturday hours for the stores that were open Saturday have changed. Sydney's hours have adjusted a little bit. So we'll keep this up to date. You can direct customers here. If they have any questions, just tell them we're updating this all the time. Northwestpipe.com is on all of the signs that we put out too, so they can go there. At the same time, we're continuing to update the web store. So push your customers to sign up to the web store. If they're not on the web store, it's a good way to get them to continue to order product or look at information while maintaining that wonderful social distancing. Few questions have come up as far as the GoToMeeting invites, and I just want to show you real quick. If you get an invite from me to a GoToMeeting and you accept it, it does disappear from your inbox. So once it's been accepted, it clears out of here, and it's going to go into your calendars. In your calendars, this is going to look a little different than what you guys have because I have the web version. If you click on the calendar app, inside your calendar, that actual invitation will give you all the information you need as far as the GoToMeeting information. So when you're saying you can't find it, etc., that's where it's at. Hold on just a second. Hello? Yeah. Okay, I'm recording this. I'll send it to you guys later. Oh, okay, bye. All right, so we waited for Kalispell, but their internet's down, so it's not working. Do you guys have any questions on anything so far?
So are you still sending the GoToMeetings like what we do it here?
Hmm? Yeah, so if you are in Billings, you will get a GoToMeeting invite, even if you are in the area. To send out a mass email, it's all the same. It'll say in the meeting things there that the location is, webinar and Billings training room. But this is just for those of you who have asked me where my meeting invite goes. It goes to your calendar. So look on your calendar, double click that invite, and all the information that was in the original email is right there. So the next kind of real quick and easy thing to do that I want to show you guys that a lot of you probably don't know about, mute you all again, is the desktop quick button. Now if you're using Windows 10, you'll notice here I have all of these windows open, so I would have to click through all of these to minimize everything to get back to my desktop or whatever if I was looking for something. In Windows 10, if you mouse all the way over here to the right hand side and you click on this button here, it minimizes everything and takes you to your desktop. For those of you that are using a little bit older computer, Windows 7, this is an image of your Windows 7 desktop. It's the same thing, but it's a little bit bigger button. So in Windows 10, they shrunk it down. It's really narrow. But if you click that, it minimizes everything. It won't close anything, but it'll clear your desktop so you have kind of a clean working space. So you're not clicking through 20 windows to try to find a specific file. Kind of the main thing that we wanted to talk about today in this that I think is going to help you the most out of all the stuff is the Snip tool. So the Snip tool is installed on every Windows, Microsoft machine, no matter what version you are using. So if you just type in Snip, this is what it looks like. It's a little scissors with a circle. If you open this up, I'm going to bring up this little box here. Now, I suggest that you pin this to your desktop by right-clicking on this and going pin to your taskbar. That way it's always there. You don't have to look for it again. When you click on this and you hit New, it's going to gray out your screen. So say you wanted to send a customer just this pedestal laboratory here on the top without the rest of this information in an email. So you're in the New. You just click in the screen, you left-click and hold down, and you draw a box, and it will just hold that information. So you can send them all of that without sending the other 3 items, confusion, whatever. Snip Tool also has the ability to highlight, so you can click on the little yellow thing at the top and you can highlight whatever you need to highlight on here. You can use the pen to draw circles or check things, any of that kind of stuff. Once you've made it the way you want to make it, there's 3 different options at the top. There's a save, of course. You click on that, name the file, save it to your desktop. You can drag and drop it to an email, whatever you want to do. You can use the copy option, which is right next to the save. There's 2 little pieces of paper here. So that's the one I use the most. In most cases, I would have a email window open, and you write some text or whatever, and then if you hit Control V, you can drop it in. So you can write a little blurb about it and say, you know, this is the pedestal we talked about, see the picture below. Then you could write a little more and add another one. So you add a second one. So you can say this is option 2. So you can do this without having to send them 5 pages and say, look at, you know, the middle of this page and the middle of this page and that kind of stuff. You can also, from the Snip tool, directly create a new email, which is the Send Snip option here. This will open up a brand new email and save it as an attachment. So in this case, you want to do this if you're only sending 1 picture and you're not specifically talking about multiple items. You want to use the attachment option. It will save it just as a picture file, but it doesn't put it within the text of the email. I personally prefer to use this other option here where you copy and because you can make specific notes about specific pictures. So I went kind of quick there. Does anybody have questions about the Snip tool?
Blake, when you drop that into your email, is it Control B as in Bravo?
Control V as in Victor.
Victor, okay.
I thought about that this morning, Blake. When I send out the recording of this email, the YouTube link, I will make a file for everybody with all of the Windows control short keys that you guys can save at the top. If you have any questions, you know, Control C is copy, Control V is paste, Control X is cut. I mean, there's one for every key, and then a lot of them have multiple ones where you can just Control and Alt also. So I'll put together a list so you guys can do that also. It is kind of handy. You know, then you're not clicking around trying to find your print key.
Thank you.
Guys have any other questions on the Snip tool? No?
So work with anything that's on the screen, as catalog, internet site, or media.
I don't know if you guys can hear Scott, but yeah, it will work on anything that is currently displaying on your screen. The one thing it does not work on is video. So if you click the new on it and you have a video playing and you wanted to grab that frame or whatever, the video will continue to play in the background, so you won't be able to grab that frame. Now, if you wanted to grab something out of, say, a YouTube tutorial or something, you can pause it and then you could snip that frame, but it won't catch motion. So it doesn't do video. And if you've highlighted something like the one I have up here and say you highlight it wrong, you want to change it, all you have to do is click new and you just redraw it around the same item and start over. So there isn't really like a go back key in the snip. Once you've kind of colored it, it's colored. On the, let's see, talk about this here. So I brought this one up too. This was from a Webstone thing. This is just kind of a nice little picture. You can see, you do your new, do this. And then one of the other nice options of doing, where you copy and paste it into an email instead of sending it as a file, is you can resize the item. So you paste it in and you can click on it, and when you get these dots on the outside of the picture, you can make it bigger. So if you wanted to emphasize something, you can change the size of the item. So when you send that email, it's not, a tiny little thumbnail that they can't see. Somebody's pounding like these, so I'm going to teach you guys again. Do you guys here have any questions? Is that pretty clear? Yeah, so try it a little. Pull up the Snip tool on your computer, save it to your taskbar, and use it to send yourself a couple pictures and just kind of see how it looks. It's really effective when you're looking at a spec sheet and you have multiple items. You have a customer that calls up and they're not sure what they're really looking for. Like you could take from this mixing valve here, you could cut out just one of these valves and say, is this the one you're looking for? And send that to them in an email and say, this is what we have in stock. Because they may have it in their hand, maybe the label's worn off and they're not really sure what they're looking at. Stuff comes up from time to time. The next thing I wanted to talk about was printing to a PDF. So I have a large PDF open here on this night fire tube. I'll bring up. So this is an 84-page installation operation manual. Kind of the same thing. You guys are talking to customers. They want something from page 5 and 9 and 13. I see a lot of people print the entire file, and then they'll go to the printer and they'll pull out the 3 or 4 pages they need. They'll scan it to themselves, and then they send it to the customer. What you can do instead is if you go to your print option and you have all your printers here, instead of your regular paper printer, every computer has what they call Microsoft Print to PDF. So it's installed by Microsoft. I have the Adobe version. Some of you have a full Adobe version also, so you'll have that. But if you print it, click on the Microsoft Print to PDF, and you go to Pages here, and say you wanted to do page 5, 9, 11, 25, and 78. So you have to do a comma between each page. So now, when you click out of that, it'll change to the number of pages here. You're going to hit print just like you normally would. It's going to look like it prints, but it's going to create or give you a save to file window. So we're going to call this test 1, save it on my desktop. You'll see it's doing 3 of 5. I'm going to use my desktop quick button again. Here's test 1. I open this file. It is only the 5 pages that I selected. So now you can send this to your customer without the other 79 pages that they don't need. And you're saving paper. It's also a lot clearer because when you print it and then rescan it, you're going to get that copy of a copy. And if they're looking for a wiring diagram or something like that, the picture may not come out very clear. So those of you that are doing commercial bidding and you have large bids come across and you get the plans and you only need page 1 or page 10 or whatever, you can use this too for that same thing. You can save it as a file and then print just those 1 pages. Do you guys have any questions on that?
So Blake, when you're doing that, do you have to do like the number, comma, space, number, comma, space?
As long as you have a comma in there, the system knows. I
Okay.
always do the space just so it's easier for me to read. Make sure I didn't miss any specific ones. You can also do like page sequences. So just like it's set right now. So the default is always to print all. So it's 1 dash to 84. That's going to print them all. If you wanted page 1 to 5, then it's 1 to 5. And then you could do 12, 13, and then you could do 24 to 67. And it'll go through and separate out all the pages that you don't need and create a new file for you.
That's great. And then, so if I just wanted to also print those off, say I got a customer here, can I still change that up and not do it through the PDF and just do off the printer? And still,
Yeah,
okay.
so then you can select a printer. You can do all the same options through the printer. The kind of main thing I had seen is just a lot of people were printing a large file and picking through it, and then they would scan it and then send it off. And you kind of end up with that darker, you know, rescanned, recopied picture that doesn't turn out very well. So those were kind of the main things that I had planned for today. There wasn't a lot of real simple things to go over, but I wanted to see where you guys were at. Is there any things that you want to be, you know, learn more about as we go forward? Nancy and I had kind of talked about Microsoft Word and teaching you guys how to import letterhead directly into whatever you're writing, so you don't have to, again, print the letterhead and then print it on paper. You can just do it all as one file. Is that something you guys would want to learn about? Is that just Nancy? Okay. Do you have anything else? Are there any specific things in Excel that you want me to put a class together for?
I think an Excel 101 training would be good for a lot of people.
Okay.
Agreed.
So do you want to learn like formatting of pages, like some general equation?
Yes.
Yes. Plugging in equations, yes. I don't know. I mean, it's such a in-depth product. There's a lot you can get carried away with, but I think if we started small, then we could grow from there.
Okay. I'm trying to keep them, you know, short. I don't want the class to be an hour, even a half hour. It kind of starts to get to the point where people lose interest. And I'll continue to do these, and I'll put them on YouTube, and I'll put in kind of spaces in between them that show you what each section's about. So if you forget, you can go back and watch just the Snip Tool, you know, 3-minute thing, or the printing a PDF. Is there anything else that you've seen somebody do that you didn't know how to do, that you want to learn to do, kind of thing?
I think Excel's the big one, really.
Okay.
You put it on YouTube, you send them, is that, how do you access that?
So, like, you guys have probably seen a few of the links I've sent through on YouTube and stuff. So what I've been doing is I'll record the webinar and I'll go through and I'll snip off the points where we're not talking, or, you know, unimportant stuff. And then I post it on YouTube, and I'll send you a specific link, and you can share that link with anybody. The link is public. Because we don't have a lot of followers on YouTube, it's hard to find if you just search for it, so you do kind of need the link. You can search for Northwest Pipe of Montana on YouTube and subscribe to that YouTube page, and I think there's 4 videos on there now. I guess I can pull it up. So it's right here. So if you search for YouTube, that Northwest Pipe of Montana, I guess there's 3 posted right now. I sent this Grundfos one out to some of you guys yesterday. Looks like we've got a whopping 2 views. So
Do all this, like this training years.
Yep. And as we go forward, as we get reps to come in and teach classes and stuff here, we'll continue to post them on a webinar, and then we'll record it, and I'll post them to the YouTube page for people that can't attend or miss part of it or whatever, so you can watch it later. We'll work out some of the audio bugs. I don't know if it was better today or not as echoey.
Today was a lot better than yesterday or 2 days ago.
Well, the other day was in the conference room, and I think the glass in the conference room kind of messes with the sound, but I don't really know for sure. I'll work on some hardware in there. Do you guys have anything else or any questions?
I think it's time goes on.
Good to go, man. Thank you.
Hey, Blake, real quick.
Yeah.
Hey, getting to that desktop quick button,
Yeah.
where is that?
So it's on the far right-hand side next to the clock. So you see where my mouse is now?
Yep.
The mouse, and then you got your notifications. It's right to the right of that.
I see.
So
Okay,
it's this
thanks.
tiny little, yep. And if you have Windows 7, it's a little bit bigger. It looks a little more like a gray thumbnail.